Hi guys, how you going? You've got Riz Khan here from rioncapital.com. In this video, I'm just going to go over some investment options to grow your way to wealth. So I'm going to talk about, first of all, savings. Can you save money and grow your way to wealth by just saving money? I'm going to talk about, some people like to gamble and try and get wealthy through gambling. Another option is businesses. I'll talk a little bit about businesses and how you can use business as a way to wealth. Then I'll talk about the financial markets and how some people make a lot of money through the financial markets. And then I'm going to talk about real estate. And really, I'm going to focus a bit more on real estate, as that is going to be my bias for this video, that real estate should be your chosen vehicle for wealth. And I'll also talk about how I make money through real estate and how I buy my properties direct from the banks at very low prices, such as even as low as 25 cents in the dollar. And then how I basically sell those properties for under market value, under the fair value to other private investors, making a win-win situation. Then at the end of this video, I'm going to basically give you some next steps so that if you are interested in doing what I do, how you can get in touch with me and how we can move forward together. Okay, so moving on to savings, right? Some people believe that they can actually save their way to wealth, right? It's not an option that I recommend. So what these people do, they go out and they collect all the coupons that they can get. They start to grow a garden. They start working overtime. Now, I'm not saying that these are bad things, right? But what I am saying is that that's not how you get wealthy, right? You're not going to save your way to $1 million. And this is rather, well known even throughout the media. If I quote this post here from Huffington Post, it says, yeah, if you think that you can save your way to wealth, you're wrong, right? So even the media knows this. And I personally have never known anybody who's become rich by just saving money, right? Just by saving every little penny and having a normal daytime job, and they just continue to save and they've made $1 million. I myself have never seen that happen. So again, these are not bad ideas, but don't expect yourself to become a millionaire by taking that particular approach. The next option that I've seen some people do is they start to gamble. So they'll buy lottery tickets and they'll go, get craps in Las Vegas. Well, lottery tickets, yes, okay, some people do win, and same at, in Las Vegas, some people do get lucky. But the problem here is that these are not in your control, right? This is just pure luck. And if you just happen to be the 1% or under 1% that can consistently make money in this approach at Las Vegas, then you're going to get banned anyway. So again, that's not an approach that I would recommend as a vehicle for your success to become wealthy. Now let's look at the third option here, which is basically growing a business. Now, this is a viable option. It's a very difficult option, but it definitely is a viable option. So businesses, you can basically have, in today's technology world, you can have an online business. You can have the traditional brick and mortar business, such as a convenience store or a 7-Eleven store, okay? Now, in online businesses, this is something that I suggest that is good if you know how to do it, right? You can start up a Amazon business or an eBay business or a Shopify business, right? Or if you're a subject matter expert in a particular field, then you can also start to build some informational products. But again, this does require a lot of effort, but it can be rewarding if done correctly. On the other side, with your brick and mortar businesses, to me, these are becoming less and less sustainable longer term. You continue to see, smaller businesses going out of business, okay? And these to me are higher risk, and the cost of entry just continues to go up in these, right? So, some characteristics of businesses is that, okay, if they work, that's great. They can be very rewarding, but these are very challenging to set up and to consistently make money time and time again. And they can be very costly to set up. For example, your average franchise these days costs about $600,000. Often what happens is that when you buy a business, you actually end up buying yourself a job, right? So you end up making similar money, a little bit more money than what you were before, but you're just spending so much more time. So often it just becomes a job. So again, that is an option, but it does take a lot of effort. And if you can do it right, then that's great for you. The other option I've got here is the financial markets. Often people believe that you can make a lot of money from the financial markets, such as investing in stocks or bonds, or buying gold or futures, or the S&P 500 E-mini contracts, or Forex, or a oil contract, or even your wheat contracts. And that can be true. But the problem here is that you need a very specialist skill set, right? So this may not be for everybody. I know this because I myself am a financial market systems trader. I build systems that trade these particular markets, and I successfully do so. Okay, so I know that this requires a very particular special skill set, and only about 2 to 5% of it actually make it in the financial markets. So, yes, you can make money from the financial markets, But can everybody make it? I would say no. I would say that this is only for a particular type of personality that can make it. There's a lot of discipline involved, and there's a very steep learning curve involved in this particular approach. So moving on from the financial markets and going on to real estate. Now, real estate is something that I would suggest is probably the easiest way out of most of, I'm just going to move this over a bit. It's probably the easiest way out of most of the investment type of vehicles that you can actually make some good money out of, okay? And the reason I say that is that it's not hard to do, and you can learn it as you do it. So as you start to actually do your real estate deals, you can actually learn on the job. You know, the different tasks as you do them, you can just learn them as you do them. So again, there's not much skill set required here as compared to the financial markets. And one of the biggest things is that it's easy to understand. What I mean by that is everybody knows what a house is. Everybody understands the business model of making money through houses, which is either you're buying it at a low price, you're buying it and then you're selling it higher, or you're buying it and you're just receiving the rental income from there, okay? So the idea here is that you buy it and you either buy it very low and therefore you can sell it at the current market value and make some money in the difference between where you bought it and where you sold it. Or you buy it at the current market value, but you somehow add value to it. Maybe you're fixing up the house or you're doing some other things to add value to that, and therefore again you can sell it for a higher price. But basically the idea is you're buying it at a low price, you're selling it at a high price, or alternatively you're just sitting on that investment and letting it grow, and over time it will grow, or alternatively you're just receiving monthly income as rental income from that property. Okay, so it's very easy to understand. With real estate, there's lots of different ways that you can actually make money. For example, you can get rental income where you continue to get money month after month, or you can get capital growth, right? You can get capital growth through inflation, or you can actually get capital growth where the demand in that particular city increases, and that gives you capital growth as well. And you know, there's easily over 20 different ways that you can make money in real estate. I actually have another video where I talk about 7 proven ways to make money in the real estate markets. The other advantage of real estate is that it is a proven investment. In other words, more people have built wealth from real estate than any other type of investment. And even today, if you look at, you know, your home equity, for the majority of people out there, their home equity is their largest portion of wealth. So what that means is if we got everybody and we said, okay, where's your largest wealth? Where do you store your largest wealth? Some people may say I've got it in gold, others may say I've got it in businesses, but the majority of people will say that it's in my home equity, okay? So in other words, it's in real estate. But the challenge is that you can't just go out there and buy any property, right? Property will not beat the financial markets at any time, place, or price. Meaning you can't walk out onto the street and buy the first house that you see and then expect that that's going to beat, you know, the returns of financial markets. Most importantly, you need to buy it at the right price. And how do I do it? How do I buy it at the right price? Well, what I do, I buy my properties, my REO, directly from the banks. And I buy them, you know, from as low as 25 cents in the dollar. I am then able to basically sell these properties to investors or capital funds, and I'm able to do this with no money down. How do other people invest in real estate? Now, I'm not saying my way is right and other people are wrong. Both of these are right, just depending on your personality and your objectives. So one approach that other people take is that they'll start to accumulate properties, right? From, you know, anywhere from sort of 6 to 12 properties. And these can be commercial or residential. And then they start to receive income, right? Monthly cash flow on these properties. What they've basically done is that they've built an asset for life. These are the type of people who take action, who look back 10 years from now and congratulate themselves for having taken this action. While on the other hand, other people who miss out, they're the people who are always procrastinating, and they're the people that are making a million excuses why not to do it. And simply put, those people just miss out. I'd like to now discuss real estate versus stocks, right? Because this is a common sort of, you know, argument or discussion or debate that does come up. And often you'll see graphs favoring one way or favoring the other way, but graphs can kind of show you what they want. You can kind of start to slice and dice that information however you want. What I found is, you know, if I'm reading a stock related book, then the graphs in there say, look, buy stocks because in the longer term, stocks make more money than real estate. And on the other hand, if I'm reading a real estate related book, then again, what they say, and they show the graphs to prove it, just as the stock guys did, but these guys say, buy real estate because real estate will make you more money in the longer term versus stocks. And neither of these guys are lying, but point being, you can start to sort of, you know, slice and dice these charts and show the information how you want. And most of the time, these charts don't truly reflect the correct way that these investors actually invest. For example, in the stock market, when the real estate guys show the stock graph, they usually just show something like, if you bought this stock, 20 years ago or 10 years ago, the Dow Jones, this is where it would be today. But most people don't do that. Most people don't just buy the Dow Jones and sit on it for, a decade. They're in and they're out and they're in and they're out, and they've got a specialized strategy or methodology to be able to do that. It's similar with real estate. Most of the people that are sophisticated investors don't just buy some real estate and just sit on it, right? They're in, they're out, they're in, they're out. And neither of these guys show that and truly show, therefore, what the true potential is of either real estate or stocks. But that should not matter you, because what's important here is not what happened in the past for other people, but what's more important and what should be compared is what can work for you. So there's two options for you. One is real estate. The other one is, the financial markets, right? Trading in stocks, futures, and bonds, okay? The challenge that I see here in the financial markets is that it's a steep learning curve. Definitely, those people who, learn how to do this, it can be very, very rewarding, but it is a very steep learning curve, and very few people actually make it to the top. And I'd even say that this, investing in stocks and investing in the financial markets is not for everyone. I'd say that this takes a particular type of personality who's pretty switched on and who's got, a lot of sort of self-control and the ability to sort of, grow from one phase to another and also change his personality a bit. So I'd say that this is for a particular type of person and not for everybody. So yes, this is an option, but I'd say it's not for everybody and it takes a lot of effort to get it right. The easier option is going to be real estate, right? And again, for those that know how to do it right, it can be very, very rewarding. And the learning curve is a lot less, right? It's a much smaller learning curve. In other words, knowing what to do, how to become a successful real estate investor is a lot less and easier to learn than it is in the financial markets, right? And more importantly, more people have made millions in real estate than any other investments, right? Than the financial market. So here, it's a winner in that sense because you want to put the probability in your favor, okay? You want to go into that thing that you feel that's going to work more likely. And for you, for someone that doesn't know either of these, or someone that doesn't know real estate and doesn't know stocks and futures, then the probability, the one you're going to go into the thing that's easier for you and it's going to be more likely to work, and that for you is going to be real estate. And I'd also say that in real estate, you don't actually need a particular personality. I'd say almost anyone can do it. And the reason there, again, is it's easy to understand. It's easy to visualize and you know exactly sort of what's doing, and it's easy to work out the numbers, okay? And again, the probability for this game, for the real estate game, is in your favor because the majority of people have won in real estate versus winning in stocks. So how do I do it? Well, as I said, I basically believe that the money is made at the price that you buy it, okay? You've got to buy these things cheap. How do I buy them cheap? I go directly to the banks, right? I buy my REO directly from the banks from as low as 25 cents in the dollar. I then sell these properties to private investors and I sell them for less than fair market value. And therefore I can create a win-win situation. And I'll do all this with no money down. So that basically ends the discussion on stocks versus real estate, where again I'd say that it's more higher probability for you to win in the real estate market than it is in stocks. So moving on now to the last part, which is next steps. I hope that this information has been helpful to you. And if you would like to find out, more about how I make my money in real estate and how to buy these properties directly from the bank, then feel free to get in touch. The email address is riz.khan@reoncapital.com. So get in touch and I'll send you some information on how to get started. Thank you for listening and I'm wishing you all the best moving forward. Bye for now.